Breakfast with Bob. Hacho Man! Again, welcome to day 2, Breakfast with Bob. We are brought to you by EAS Sports Nutrition, Hoka One One, Polar, Oscar Wellness, Velo Fix. Our championship edition will be at Four Seasons Hualalai on Sunday. And we are broadcasting on triathlonworld.com. Our next guest, the legend himself, third place last year, first time on a podium here in Kona, Mr. Timothy O'Donnell. Timothy, how the heck are you?
I'm good, Bob. Thanks for having me. It's always a great way to start race week here with you.
I love chatting with you, and having Mark Allen on yesterday, he was just raving again about the way you raced last year. It wasn't a 15th place off the bike and running your way up to 4th or 3rd. It was seizing the moment on the bike and going, hey, I'm going into the lead, and leading the race, and leading not just any race, but the most important race in the world. What type of confidence does that give you, knowing that you've led this race?
It's a game changer. I was so close last year, in the front of the race, and like you kind of mentioned, Mark was saying, it was performance where I put myself in that position.
Yes.
And it wasn't until that race, I've always thought I could win this race, and after now, I've always trained to win this race, but now I really truly believe I can.
Right.
So I think those are the little things, those little 1%ers that you really need to win this race.
Well, and look at your progress. 2012, 8th, then you move up to 5th, and then this last year, 3rd. So you're obviously heading in the right direction. When you come off of a race like that, when you're on the podium, when you would sit down with Mark afterwards, what was the plan for this year? Obviously, this is the goal. The other races are stepping stones. What did you feel you needed to work on so that this year it's not just on the podium but winning the race?
Yeah, I think this year I didn't have the perfect race last year.
Right.
I definitely messed some stuff up. I ran out of water at the end of the bike. I misjudged the last aid station. I thought we had another one.
Right.
I lost some of my run nutrition at the start of the run. So for me, it was by no means was that the ideal race? So
right.
I kind of knew that just going into this year, there wasn't much I had to change. I had to just keep on being smart with what I was doing and following the path that Mark and I have been on the last 3 years, and it's really just keeping that natural progression moving forward.
And when you have a race like you had last year with Brazil, where you're going to go 7:55, right? That has to give you a little bit of confidence. Obviously, you're racing in a heat, and you're racing a race that's been around for a long time, and you're going sub 8 hours at that race, and it's not not the first time, right?
Yeah, and I didn't realize it until this year. Someone pointed out to me, but I seem to race pretty well on islands. St. Croix, San Juan, I've been really effective at those races and done okay here. So I'm glad I'm racing on an island for the World Championships.
Talk a little bit about the balance between you and Mirinda. Obviously, 2 years ago, she has the race of her life, 14:30 down off the bike, and wins a race. And you didn't have the race of your life, right? And everything went wrong nutritionally. Right. And then last year, just the opposite. Mirinda has an injury going in, can't finish the bike ride, and then you have the day of your life. So at the finish line, either she's ecstatic and you need to be ecstatic for her, right. And then last year it was sort of a role reversal. How do you guys balance that?
It's definitely hard. I mean, I guess we sort of hedge our bets when because we have 2 chances to do well, and we really do appreciate the other's successes and enjoy them with them, even if we have a bad race. So that does help. But at the end of the day, we both want to win this race. Rennie wants to win it again. I'd love to win it for the first time. And I think we've realized over the years that together we will do the best when we focus on our own race.
Right.
And I think we both realize that now, and we're both comfortable with that. And we're at a point where we can do that, and it won't affect our relationship. So, I think this year we're in a good spot to do that.
So, like this week, do you guys your own schedule, your own thing, and then sort of see each other every once in a while?
Yeah, I mean, we don't try to avoid each other or anything crazy like that. But yeah, we have, we're both. Rennie's been comfortable with her routine here for years, and I think it was almost just last year where I kind of found myself here. Obviously, if your wife's a multiple world champion here, you kind of look at, okay, well, what she's doing, what is she doing?
Obviously, it works for her.
Right, it works for her. So it took me a little while to kind of find out what works for me and to have the confidence to do what I know I need to do, and not maybe just, well, Rennie's doing this, so I should do that. So I think we've fallen into a good rhythm this year where we both know exactly what we need to do.
So when you finished fifth here in 2013, at that point it'd be easy to say I'm on the right path. I'm having progress. I've gone from eighth to fifth. But at that point you moved to Mark Allen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the following year you have your nutrition issues. Did you question at all that you had made the right move?
Actually, I didn't. I knew I was in great shape going in that race.
Right.
I made some mistakes personally, I think, with my taper and things like that,
Right.
that I, take responsibility for.
Yes.
But, I had an age group swim coach years ago that would always tell me, because, age groups, a lot of kids
Yep.
switch teams and then they have a bad season. He's like, it takes at least 18 months to really get into a program and to see the benefits. So I was fully committed to know that, hey, this could be a 2-year process for Mark to take me where I need to be, not just physically, but spiritually, mentally, emotionally.
Yes.
And, I never lost faith in him and his methods.
In the process.
Process, exactly.
Process is it.
And it's not a short one.
No. What have you gone through? And I'm sure knowing Mark, there have been some things that you've been like, that seems a little different.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you do trust in the process. Talk a little bit about what Mark has brought to the table that some people might look at and go, that's interesting.
Yeah, well, on the superficial level, it's the training, and it's
Right.
being based off of heart rate. And I feel like last year I really clicked in that effective heart rate zone where I was burning fat and
Yes.
being more efficient. And there was a lag in that with my running, and I really feel like it's starting to click right now. And some of the long run sessions I did in Boulder, they weren't any faster than they were last year or the year before, but I was running at a much lower heart rate, much more efficiently at the same pace, and that really got Mark excited. But beyond that, yeah, it's knowing that there's power here in the island, and knowing that you have to give before you receive. So coming in here with the attitude that, hey, you know what, I'm going to lay everything I have out on the line on race day, and maybe I'll get a little something back, but I can't expect anything. So that means, not only being fit, but being properly tapered. Everything I do, I ask myself, is this going to put me in a position to give everything I have on race day right now?
Yes.
And it needs to, it has to answer yes for me to, to do that day or whatever it is. So I think that perspective is really powerful.
The other thing that Mark, I think, is a proponent of is racing less. And it seems like you race less now. This year, you have Puerto Rico first, St. George ninth, Timberman fourth, St. Anthony's third. Nice mix of Olympic and keeping the speed, which Mark was always a proponent of. But I know you're a racing guy. If you had your druthers, you'd be racing more. Has that been hard for you to sort of keep that in check?
Every once in a while, especially after Timberman. I had a 2-minute lead on the bike 30 miles into the ride. I got a flat tire, CO2 canister blew, so I had to wait for support to come around. Lost a ton of time, and I left that race really disappointed. And I had some poor races this year with St. George and Frankfurt, and Timberman was a good chance for me to kind of get back where I wanted to be. And I left that race like, I
need another race.
Yeah, I need another race, and I didn't even have to talk to Mark about it because I knew
he was going to say no. Follow the plan,
right? But
process plan.
Exactly. Stay with the process. So I calmed down. 12 hours later, I realized, all right, it's okay. I don't need a first at that race to tell me I'm ready to go. I knew I was in a good spot. I had some bad luck, and that it is what it is. So let's move forward.
That's racing.
Yeah, that's racing.
That stuff happens. So we haven't had an American win here since 2002 with Tim DeBoom. And for yourself, I know you've put in the hard yards, right? What would it mean for you to be the first American win here, and since then?
I don't know if obviously I prepare and plan to do that, but those emotions, I don't know if I can even describe them until I experience them. Yeah. I know I can visualize myself coming down in Leahy in that number one spot, and I think you have to be able to do that to put yourself there on race day. So. I have a feeling it would be pretty overwhelming, and I want to be that. I really want to be that guy. I want to be the next guy to do that. So I'm going to fight like hell to be that guy.
Last year during the run, you're running along, and Andreas Raylert is coming up, and you had a nice little battle. He goes by, but the fact that you were able to, this guy is an amazing runner. The fact that you're able to battle him for a while, that has to give you confidence as well.
Yeah, Andy came up on me actually coming out of the energy lab. He just got pretty close, and I was able to reopen up the gap for several miles until the end. But I was not happy with that run. That wasn't the best that I have, and I know I can do a lot better. And Andy's been consistently one of the best runners here in Kona. So,
what do you think you can run on this course?
I think I haven't run under 250. I know I can do that. Honestly, I think I can run a lot faster than that on the right day. We could have the right day too. This week has been really mild. I was out there riding yesterday. The winds were low. It felt cool.
Somebody's teasing you, homeboy.
I know.
You know what's going to happen. You're going to wake up. There's not going to be a cloud in the sky. The Mamukus.
I hope it is like that, though,
you want that, right?
The
tougher the conditions, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is a hard race no matter what.
Right.
But it definitely opens the door to more guys if it's a fast day.
Right.
I would love it for the sun to be beating down.
A tough man day is better.
Yeah. Just like last year, it was a tough day.
It was a tough man day. So what's really cool is the depth of the field now is off the charts with Jan Frodeno and Sebastian Kienle and yourself and Nico Llanos and Andreas Rehler. There's so many great guys out there. You enjoy this? Is that something that you appreciate, going to the starting line with the very best in the world, knowing that nobody's training through this race, nobody's going to come up after, oh yeah, this was a B race, and yeah. But everybody's here, everybody's laying on the line, and the best guys are going to win.
I love it. Yeah, I want to be the best racing the best,
yes.
And there's no other field in the world as good as this field is, and to be on top of that would be pretty amazing.
So when you look back at all your racing, because did the Olympic stuff, Olympic distance racing, and then moved up to the longer distance, is there a race you look at as one that meant the most to you, that told you, you know what, I think I made the right choice, I can be great at this sport?
Yeah, that's definitely hard because it's been definitely a long process for me.
Yeah.
I started racing in college. I raced collegiately. I raced as an age grouper.
Yes.
So I've seen a lot of different, aspects of the sport. But, St. Croix in 2009 was probably the race that changed my career. It gave me confidence to know that I can win races. It gave me confidence to know that I can run with the best guys in the world.
Yeah.
And it made me realize that my calling was in long course racing and not short course racing, and that was kind of a transition time, 2009, 2010, where I started running well enough where maybe I could have made the U.S. Olympic team.
Right.
A good enough shot
for 12.
For 12, a good enough shot to stay in that mix. But after St. Croix and the success I then had in half Ironmans, and meeting Rinny, I met Rinny at St. Croix.
You did, right?
Another good reason. That's probably that point in my career that was really important. It's kind of shaped my path ever since.
What was the transition from that Olympic format racing to the longer distance? It seemed like it was pretty seamless for you.
I sat on the fence 2009, 2010.
Yeah.
Still dipping my feet in the short course racing. I was second at the U.S. National Championships in 9 and 10 in the ITU racing. And after Rinny won Kona in 2010, I went to a World Cup race in Korea.
Yes.
And it was just underwhelming. It just wasn't a great experience. And I came back from that race and said, Rinny, I'm
done.
I'm going. I'm done with this. I'm going all in with long course.
Well, and a lot of times with that ITU style racing, you don't control your own destiny. It's up to people who are going to put you on a team and give you a start in a race, and you control your own destiny with this racing.
Yeah, especially for a guy like me that's more of a strong racer.
Yes.
Greg Benn, a good friend of mine, always tells me my strength is my strength. And
that's a really good
you
point.
Can't let that shine in an ITU race. At least I wasn't able to.
Right.
So long course made sense for me.
And when you had that result at St. Croix, all of a sudden did things open up in terms of some sponsorship and more acceptance of you as, hey, this guy could be not just a good triathlete, but one of the best?
I think actually I set the course record that year, and it was Crowe's record.
Yeah.
And, a guy like that is like, well, if you can do well at that race, you can do well in Kona. So I think it did. I think a lot of people said, okay, well, here's maybe a guy that can compete in the lava fields.
Right.
And I'm not a fast learner. It's taken me a little while, but I feel like I'm getting to that point.
But you're a learner.
I'm a learner. I'm persistent.
Fast learner isn't that important. Yeah. Well, it's great to see the progression, and coming off of that third place, it would be wonderful to have you not just podium, but
I've been there, Bob. I
You've
need
been
to go
there.
to the top.
Yeah. If you're going to be on the podium, I always say, if you're going to be on a podium, why look up, right? Why not be looking down at other people? Yeah, you don't really want to be there.
And that's one of the things, Mark and I have talked about. This is a year where I need to approach this race and not settle for anything other
No
than
settling.
being at the top. So, regardless of how the race plays out, keep in my mind the whole day that you are not settling. You are doing everything you can to win this race.
Yes, you're not here for podium.
Exactly.
You're not here for top 5.
Not here to be the top American.
No.
That's
nice.
It's nice, but
Yeah,
it's not what I'm here for.
No. That's like the old bagel in a T-shirt. You don't need that. Tim O'Donnell has been our guest. How about a round of applause for Mr. Timothy O'Donnell? Sorry, Mom, I said Tim there once. Timothy O'Donnell, Pancho Man.
Thanks,
Take us
Bob.
out.
Breakfast with Bob and Tim. My theme.
Nice job. We got a hat.